Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It is the Monday after Week 10 in the NFL. We're doing a regular Monday call with SBR contributor Dave Golohkav, where we find out a little bit about what he learned from the Week 10 card that might indicate possible betting value going forward. Dave Golohkav, thanks for being back with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Dave. Well, there's not much. I looked over the card. There's not a whole lot that I learned this week. The one thing is that everyone, we got confirmed, right? Peyton Manning, awful loss. You want to bet him? People said that before Sunday, and that turned out to be 100% true. Peyton got a win, so if you didn't know that before this Sunday, now you know it. Bet on Peyton Manning after a loss. And then we also learned the Jets, they got a win, an outright win as a home dog over Pitt. They're not that bad. I thought a few weeks ago we were saying the Jets are horrible, the Jets are unbelievably awful, all the hyperbole. They're not that bad. And then the Niners, they went into New Orleans and they got an outright win as an underdog, and that line got bet up. It opened at like 4, closed at like 6 or 6.5 or whatever it was. So the Saints, we thought the Saints were overrated. Maybe they are, but I mean the Niners, we thought they were overrated, and maybe they are, but they're not that bad either. So that's all that I have to mention from the past week. What's your take on Week 10 NFL, Dave Golohkav?
Well, we'll start with where you ended there. I think that I didn't learn much about San Francisco or New Orleans. That game, for anybody who watched it, was a matchup of two teams that didn't want to win the game. It's not like San Francisco went in there and impressively won the game. They were up 21-10 with a minute and a half to go in the second quarter, had a chance to really put the nail in the coffin early. And what does Colin Kaepernick do? The one thing you can't do, turns it over. But don't worry, Drew Brees is right there to throw a pick for you. 49ers did nothing in the second half. Miracle play at the end of the game. By the way, that 50-yard pass, nobody noticed a false start. 49ers were not lined up on that play. That play should have never happened. But don't worry. I mean, it counted. Then a bizarre push-off that probably should have been, no flag. Saints didn't get the call, and then the Saints turn it over in overtime. These two teams are both garbage. I will say this going forward. Saints have to be careful to lose this division. As crazy as it sounds, everyone all week was assuming, hey, the Saints, this is their division to lose. Well, Atlanta's only a game back now. And for the 49ers, I hate the 49ers. I hate Kaepernick, betting on him. But I'm foreseeing some type of situation. I don't know if Arizona can hang on, but if the 49ers kind of have that 6th seed in the playoffs and Arizona somewhere in the top, I definitely see the 49ers winning that type of a matchup. That's the only way this team survives. Because this team was absolute shit yesterday, too.
All right, so then you do, despite the outright win as an underdog, you do see the Niners as likely to be overvalued going forward.
Yeah, I do think the 49ers are overvalued. This was not a quality win. It was not a signature win. Mm-hmm. The running game has problems, lost more players to injuries off the defense. I mean, we got to see what Aldon Smith and DeVar Bowman bring to this team, but right now this is an average team overall.
All right, well, that's all I really wanted to bring up. Dave Golohkav, of course, if you wanted to, we could mention the debacle on Thursday night. Cincinnati 1-4-1 against the spread in their last 6. And Cleveland, maybe they're looking kind of good. Their next 3 games are at home against Houston, at Atlanta, and at Buffalo, so those look like 3, relatively modest opponents there. But what else do you think is interesting of note from the NFL Week 10 card you'd like to share with us, Dave?
Yeah, Miami. I think Miami was this team that bettors were on over the last month. Yes. Everyone was excited. Fantasy guys were picking up Ryan Tannehill left, right, and center. He's finally figured it out. Well, apparently not. I know they went on the road to Detroit. Detroit's the second best team in the NFC. Maybe now the best team in the NFC with Arizona, their injury woes. But I mean, come on, 230 yards of total offense. You want to tell me Miami's for real? Stuff like that. There's no way. You got to be really careful. This is a tough spot for them too. Short week, home to Buffalo. Buffalo's a quality team. Buffalo gives them problems all the time. Buffalo doesn't beat themselves. Miami continues to beat themselves. 2 turnovers last week. Listen, I've got Buffalo on season-long futures not to make the playoffs, but I have a good feeling they cover this week in Miami.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to bring up this week, Dave Golohkav?
Yeah, I just think, and this is probably not breaking news, but it's something worth mentioning for betting purposes. Just take a look at the Ravens and their home and away splits. I think this is a team that, unlike some of the other teams in the division, they're very unpredictable. I think Baltimore's pretty predictable. At home, Don't be scared laying about a touchdown with this team. They play well. Flacco plays well at home. Look at his home and away splits for his career. On the road, this team is dicey. They can go to Tampa Bay and win, but they can also go to Cincinnati and lay an egg. So I really like those home and away splits with Baltimore. I think they're an easy team to read, and it's something worth mentioning for bettors.
God, I got so burned on that game. I took the over. It was like 43 and a half, whatever it was, and it closed at like 44. I thought that, the offense would have a little bit of a bigger day, that the defense would be a little more vulnerable, but that didn't happen. Do you have any comments on that? What's your take on Baltimore's defense in general?
Well, I think Baltimore's defense is pretty good. Listen, they've been rebuilding since all those guys retired and left after the Super Bowl. But look, they got two great pass rushers in Suggs and Dumerville. The secondary is an issue, so I would be careful betting this team against any quality passing teams. If you watched that game yesterday, I think anybody who had Ravens, minus the points, was nervous after the first two drives. Zach Mettenberger was great. He's just throwing up, jump balls to guys like Justin Hunter, Delaney Walker. I'd be really worried about the Ravens secondary, but if they're playing anybody that can't pass the ball, no sweat. Yesterday was another example. I mean, they were nearly down. They were down 7-0, should have been down more, and pretty much covered pretty easily. So that's my take on the Ravens right now.
All right, so maybe in retrospect, the over wasn't that bad of a bet. I just, came out on the wrong end of it. All right, Dave Golohkav, thanks so much for your thoughts. We'll talk to you again next week.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.